Hello everybody, I'm Bagler Bagel Plays, and today I'm going to be doing sort of a how to get started on Life is Feudal. This is just going to try and go over some basics and stuff here, just to, well, it's a little bit rough starting out, so I thought I would make a video just going over some of the basics and help you guys get started and whatnot. So, anyways, to start off, first thing you'll probably notice when you first get into the game is that I can't look around. I'm just looking in one direction. This is because you start out in sort of a move your mouse around freely mode. I don't know what it's, free look mode or something. I don't know. Anyways, you have to hit tab, and that'll allow you to move things around how you would expect. So that was something that threw me off for a few minutes. Another thing I'd just like to point out, I'll just go over some of the different menus. So there's inventory, which is I, and this basically pretty obvious. It's your inventory. It's what you have. You start out with these rags and cookies, which will make you less hungry. T brings up your equipment thing, and this is actually how you can equip stuff. Well, you have two ways of equipping. You can click on an item and drag it over and drop it, or you can right click on it and click equip, or I think you can even double click on it. Got a bunch of different ways of doing it, and then that'll equip it. And right here you can see your weight, which is you can carry up to 25 whatever unit that is, and then your speed. And basically I think this is like a percentage sort of a thing, but when you're carrying more stuff it'll slow you down. So right now you can see when I put the rags on, it went down to 99. If I take them off, it should go back up to 100, and my weight went back down to 0, so I'll move faster without those on. I don't know, 1% probably won't do that much, but if you have like an axe or something, then that can slow you down more. So we got those two. You have L, which is your skills menu kind of, and there's 3 different pages. I'll talk more about this in a second. And then you have P, which is like your stats and status effects and those kinds of things. So those are sort of the basics. Also, I guess I should mention, if you hit F10 you can get to this thing where you can sort of rearrange all of your windows. So you can move your hotbar around or move all these different things around. You can also choose with this little lock thing right here. If you click on that, well, if it's pressed in, then that means that when you're out of when you're in just like normal gameplay mode, it'll show up, and if you deselect that, then it won't be there anymore. So that's just if you want to move stuff around, like the chat thing I made smaller. You can adjust how big the stuff is. I made it smaller and moved it down a little bit just because that I'm playing single player, so I don't really need a big chat bar. Yeah, you can also adjust settings on here, just the opacity and stuff, and a few other little settings. So I was F10 to do that. See, so I guess next we can talk about, I'm trying to go kind of fast just through this very first little basics here. So right here, this purplish bar is your health bar. This green bar is your stamina. This yellow bar is your hunger, and this bar, the line in the middle here, this is sort of like your I don't know exactly what it's called. Let's see if it says a name there. Your alignment bar. Basically what it is like there's certain things that you can do. Like if you go around just killing a bunch of people, then that'll give you a negative alignment. And then I believe that if you die when you have a higher negative alignment, then you'll lose more skill points and stuff than if you had like a positive or something. So I'm not exactly sure how you get into positive alignment, but I know for negative you can, if you go around killing people and stuff, and that isn't good, you will be punished, and that's kind of just to stop the whole multiplayer where everybody just goes around killing everybody. So with all that, also believe it is this right here, I believe, will show if you have like if you're hurt and stuff. So once you're in the game, got all that figured out. Oh, also map. Forgot to mention that. I'll talk. Well, I guess I can talk about this now. Yeah, this is your map. Press M to open it up. Pretty self-explanatory. A little bit just these gray areas will be like rocky type areas and stuff. If you find like this little area right here, that's clay. That little area is clay. Those little kind of areas. Also, I think these are like swampy kinds of areas, these sort of dark green. That's something that you'll probably find out about more later. I might make another video going over some building stuff, which is what clay is used for. But those are all of the different little things, and if you want to look at all of those, you can press F1 and that'll bring up a help menu. You can see all of the different keys and hotkeys and everything. You can also switch to third person mode with C. Switch in and out of that. Yeah, so now in the game, ready to go. First thing you're probably going to want to do is make a tool, like an axe or something. So to do that, you're going to need what's it called? It's called plant fiber, branches, and some flint, which I'll show you how to get all those in a second. I guess I can do it right now. So when for plant fiber, you're gonna just want to go to like a grassy area, and if you look at the ground and right click, then it'll bring up this menu right here, and this is sort of like your interaction menu. And so basically all these different things here, like prospecting, forestry, nature's lore, all this stuff, these are all different skills and different things that you can actually, like, you can increase the skills of it, and that'll unlock more options for you. So like as you leveled up your terraforming or something, there's like, right now it's just lower and raise and observe, but you can get like flattened ground and dig tunnels and stuff and mining and all those kinds of things. So as you level up, you'll get more options of different things you can do. But for right now, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to go to nature's lore and go to gather plant fiber, and actually if you right click on it, then that'll put it up here at this default thing. And so if you just click on that, that'll make it so you can you don't have to go through that menu every time. So you can just, instead of right clicking every time, you can just left click, and that will help you do it. So I didn't find anything that time, but you might have to try a few times. You don't always find stuff, so just keep trying. Eventually you'll find things. So like right there, got, just by the way, I'm looking down here, you'll be getting a message that pops up in the middle here saying like, oh, you found one plant fiber or whatever. But you can just click the little do not show this message anymore box. But down here it'll show up too. And so as you can see, it says I received 1 wild plant fiber, and my skills increased, my nature's lore increased, which that was the what the gather plant fiber was under. My intellect increased and my willpower increased. And once again, I'll talk a little bit more about the skills in a minute. Ooh, when it's getting dark. I tried to time it so it'd be daytime, but it's not really working out. So I'm just going to try and collect a few more wild plant fibers here so we can craft some stuff. Hopefully I'm just going to try and get 2. I think that should be enough. There we go. So now I'm going to go over to a tree, and if you go up to it, once again, if you right click, that's going to be pretty much how you interact with everything. If you go to forestry, and you see there's forestry and logging. If you go to forestry and you click snap a branch, and that will get you a branch off the tree. And you're going to need this for some of the basic kind of stuff. So I got 1 branch. As you can see, my skills increased as well. Since I have that as a default, I can just left click. I don't have to go through that menu every time. So just get a couple of these, and then we'll go run over and gather up some flint, which you look at the map, I'm right there, and you can see there's kind of like a rocky area over there. So I'm just gonna head over there, and because that's where you're gonna find flint. Also, fun fact, you can turn auto run on by pressing num lock, and you can turn auto sprint on with caps lock, so that way you don't have to hold anything down and your guy will just run by himself. I might have to end this video or skip until daytime in a second here, but try and collect some flint first. So it's getting a little bit dark. The day and night cycle is pretty long, so, and it gets very dark at nighttime, like super dark. So it's not an ideal time to make a tutorial. I thought I had it timed better, but apparently not. So when you find an area like this where it's like a rocky kind of area, this is where you can find flint and all that kind of stuff. So if you right click on a square there and go to prospecting, and then the search for a useful flint stone, I'm just gonna set that as default. And once again, this is you won't find flint stone every time you look. From what I can tell, the branches you find every time, but like plant fiber and, see, like I didn't find anything that time. The plant fiber and the flint stone you don't find every time. But usually if you just kind of try it a few times, you'll find some stuff. And there we go, I got one. I'll get one more. And then I can show you guys the basic crafting stuff, and then I'll probably skip to daytime. Okay, so I have 2 flint stones, 2 those, and 2 branches. So to get to the crafting screen, for at least for primitive tools, you want to go to a branch and right click on it, and then you'll see this option for create a primitive tool. If you click on that, then it'll bring up this crafting menu. And so basically for this, there's this sort of drop down menu right here, and this is where you choose the item that you would like to make. So these are all the things that you can make from the stick. So you can make a primitive sickle, shovel, hammer, axe, pickaxe, saw, torch, all this stuff. So if I just choose, like, let's do an axe or something, then down here you can see it needs a stick. It needs one right there, 2 of the, or 1 of the flint, and 2 of the plant fibers. So then have it selected and just hit craft, and then you gotta wait for the little menu thing, and then guy will craft it, and you'll have an axe. It'll be fun times. There we go, got my axe. I'll show you how to use that in a second, but I'll just quickly go over what all the different tools do. Like a shovel, you use for digging, obviously. You can use it to like flatten ground and stuff, which you need when you're building a house. You need it to be on flat ground. A hammer, you need this to actually build a house. An axe, cut down trees. Pickaxe, digging, like making tunnels and stuff. And then a saw, you need after you cut down the tree. You need to saw. It'll have like a log on the ground, and you saw the log and turn it into like either a board or a log. And then all these other things. Cooking pot, I believe you use, well, for cooking obviously, I guess, but fishing pole. I haven't had a whole lot of luck in my other game finding any fish, but you know, whatever. So now I have my axe here, and so I can either right click equip, or I can open up my equipment menu with T. And so with an axe, if you drag it over here, you can see all the places you can put it light up. And with an axe, you can actually do it in all 4 spots. But if you had like a shovel or something, I believe you can only do like your hands. You can't put it on your legs there. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna actually wait until daytime. It's gonna show you some combat and different stuff like that, but it's gonna be kind of rough to see, so I'll cut to daytime. See you in a sec. Alright, so it's daytime again. So I'll talk a little bit about the combat system here. Just a quick little disclaimer, I am not super great at the combat system. I haven't been in a lot of combat, so I don't know a ton about it, but I think I know at least the basics of it. So anyways, I'm just going to talk about that. So basically, first you need to make sure you have a weapon equipped, which right now I have the primitive axe. And so to actually start using your weapon, you need to press R, which will make you go into combat mode. I'm actually going to go into third person mode for this. And I think, yeah, I already have my weapon out. So you'll be like this, and you basically, you have to kind of pay attention to which slot you put your weapon in. And so as you can see, mine is, I guess that'd be the right hand side of his back. So if you look at the hotbar down here, you can see these skills. So this would be like left leg, left shoulder slash arm, right shoulder slash arm. So pay attention to where you put your weapon, and then you just press the number that corresponds to that. So mine would be 4 because it's the right hand weapon. So then you're able to take your weapon out and actually start swinging. And basically you can kind of control how your guy swings if you like move the mouse in that direction. So if you go like from up to down, he'll swing down, you know. If you go like that, whoops, like that, kind of swing that way. Like that, he'll swing that way. You can make him swing up. Actually, that's more of just a stab, not really swinging up. Anyways, you can kind of control how your guy swings it. So that's sort of the basics. You can also block with right click. And I think actually might... No, actually, I don't know. But one thing to keep in mind is they do have the alignment system. And so if you see there's a 5 and a 6 down there, basically 5 is flee, I believe. I haven't actually used it to flee from anybody yet, but basically what that'll do is I think it makes you go a little bit faster, but it makes it so the idea is that you drop all your weapons and you can move a little bit faster to try and escape from your enemy if you're like about to die or something. And then 6 is basically like surrendering, and if your enemy kills you while you're surrendering, then that gives them a negative alignment, and then once again that'll make them lose more points or skill points when they die. So it'll hopefully stop them from killing you. However, they can still knock you out and take all your stuff. It's basically, there is if you look at the health bar down here, there's a 106 right here and then a 106 right here. So the red 106 is your, it's called like soft health, and that's basically if you lose all of that health, then you'll become unconscious, and then you'll kind of just lay there for a few seconds, but you won't actually be dead, and then you'll get back up. However, if it's like a person, they can still loot all your stuff while you're unconscious. But if you lose your hard health, then you die and you lose your skill points along with them being able to loot you. So if you surrender, then they can still knock you out, but they just can't kill you. So the idea being that you lose all your stuff, so they'd kind of win because they get to keep all your stuff, but you wouldn't lose all your skill points, which is kind of a bummer if you lose all those. So that's sort of the basics of the combat system. One last thing I want to talk about is the skills system. So once again, you hit L to bring this up, and so basically each of these is like a different skill, and as you saw earlier, as you like do tasks, you increase your skills. And so basically how the skill tree works is this first row here you'll have all unlocked and everything, and it's ready to go. Also, I think down here at the bottom, even though I'm not entirely sure what some of these are, but some of them aren't in the game yet, like that one. But let's just say terraforming. Okay, so you go to this one, and right now it's at 15, and I believe for these first row you have to get it to 30 before it unlocks the second row. So I'd have to increase my terraforming skill to 30 before I'd get to the construction materials. That's supposed to be preparation, but and then I'm not sure if you have to do 30 or if it's more for the second row, but then you get to the third row and so on and so on. And so this is all, this is all good. The problem is that also there's different pages. So there's the crafting skills page, which is kind of just all of these ones, and then there's combat skills, which is fighting, obviously, and then there's kind of just more of a general, sort of not as important skills thing. Anyways, so these skills, if you look down here, I have 225 out of 604. And I think it's supposed to be more than that, but there's some bug or something that, well, for me, because I turned the skill cap all the way up. But basically, skill caps are going to be different depending on what server you play on, because the admin can adjust it. But the skill cap is basically like how many skill points you can have. And so each, like right here, this is 47, this is 15, so that goes into this 225 number right here. And you can only have 604 skill points in this entire thing. So the bummer about this is you can't just level everything up. You kind of have to choose what you want to level up. So it kind of, I think the idea is that you specialize, and then if you're playing with a bunch of people, then you can specialize in a certain thing, and then you have to work together, and everybody has different jobs and that sort of a deal. So also there's as you can see, there's different tabs here, and so basically level 0 is what you start out with. That's just kind of the bottom of the line thing, and then as you keep going up, it unlocks more skills that you can do with that. So like for this one, you can plant softwood trees for level 30. For level 60, you can plant small hardwood trees. For 90, hardwood trees, and I guess that's just more of them. So it kind of like enables you to do more as you level it up, but you kind of have to always be thinking, alright, do I want to get more invested into this skill, or do I want to move on to the next skill or whatever? So, and you do have control over this. These arrows right here, as you can see right now, all of them are green, which basically means like increase it. So you will keep gaining skill points for that skill as you do actions that will like do it. So like for nature's lore, if I were to go and do the where was it, search for plant fiber or gather plant fiber, if I were to do that, that would increase my nature's lore. But let's say that was at 60 or something, and I didn't want to have it any higher than that because I wanted to save my skill points for other skills. Then what you can do is if you click on this little arrow, and that'll make it, well, that'll make it decrease, but if you put it at this lock, and that'll just make it so it stays the same and it doesn't change. And so basically, even when you do, like, if you gather whatever those were, then you won't increase your skill for that, so then it kind of saves skill points for other skills. And also you can decrease it, so that'd be like if you increased another skill, then it would, and you were at like the cap, then instead of just not leveling up that other skill because there's no more room, it would lower this skill. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. It's a little confusing. Once you kind of play around with it a little bit, I think you'll get it. Also, something to keep in mind, each one of these pages has a different count. So like this page, it has, for my skills for this page, I have 225. But then for this, since I don't have as many skills here, I only have 80 of the skill points used up. So for each page, there's different amounts. So like these ones are pretty, you can level these up a lot more than some of the other skills on like this page or something. Anyways, So that might have been a little bit confusing. I'm sorry I went a little bit fast. I was trying to squeeze a lot in, but hopefully that helps. Oh, game might be crashing. Alright, well, I'm gonna end it here before it crashes. I think it's freezing up right now. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, you know, I'll probably have some more tutorial videos coming out, and yeah, you can also check out, I did like a Let's Play series of this game, and you can go check that out. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.